Marilyn.
He spooched on it.
Roger and I have been taking each other's pictures.
Take one for Sherry.
Okay. I saved a seat for her by then. Who's high? Okay, you can go now. Oh, my screws will out of it. Whoa, sorry. Together. Elizabeth, get over here. Look, where's that ball? Yeah, I'm right here. Are you fast? No. Oh, come on. Thank you. Jim, I'm going in here and sit down. Where's Julie?
Oh, Mother, you're looking in through the wrong eye. Thank you. Her other eye. I ain't seen him. Channel 5. Oh, let's go. 30 minutes. Run, fine. Hey, man. Hey, don't do camera. Wings. Get a draw. I'm impeached. You're impeached. Lovely coat, Mother. I can do that. Your underwear. Oh, yeah.
Last friend. Larry, let's have a big smile. Alright. Y'all get around here so I can get. And I want a big smile.
Here you go, Marilyn.
Big smile.
Hey. Call me.
Yeah.
Richard?
I have determined that each student has met all the requirements of the state and the local Board of Education, and I proudly recommend that the following students be awarded the high school diploma. Pamela June Hempstead. James Curtis Foster. Charlotte Smith Munn. Joseph Earl Dorman. Lori Dennis Rathbun. Christopher Michael Salter. Elizabeth Ann Giles. Jennifer Lenora Petticourt. Laura Lee Ferguson. Paul Robert McKay. Brian Lynn Long. Pamela Jean Whitehead. Patrick J. McKay. Stacy Maxine McClenny. Tyrone Blue Doughty. Charlotte Rochelle Wright. Brett Jason May. Tina Mae Brown. Melissa Dawn Williams. Sherry Marie Miller. Mary Annette Everhart. Tommy Ray Jordan. Tammy Denise Rust. Gary L. Flippo II. Teresa Lynn Sabalovich. Crystal Lynn Matthews. Melanie Ruth Pointer. Mark Lynn Bishop. Lisa K. Brown.
Mark.
Joseph Scott Carper. Michael Dale Brady. Todd Blake Peterman. Larry D. Riddle. Jill Dawn Hurd. Sheila Donnell Wright. Michael Heath. Jimmy Paul Jordan. Sheila Brown Sims. Stephen Richard Sanders. Julie Crystal Parker. Damon Andrew Persley. Yeah, David. Larry Dwayne Lloyd. Let's go, Larry. Douglas Brian Cray.
She's not on the floor yet.
Alexander Straw. Monty Wayne Bass. Mark Oliver Coleman. Glenn Calvin Blankenship.
Hey, Mark. Mark.
I thought we all grew up past this.
I did too.
Crawled around on our hands and knees.
Russell Dean Craig.
Miracle.
Brian Keith Branch. Edward Mark Young.
Did you see Mark post
Joe
today over there?
Franklin Harris Jr.
I got a full-length picture. I hope it's good. Are y'all going home? Okay.
David Edward Sweat.
What you doing?
Get him, David. Larry Townsend.
I had to break his neck so I could get a picture of him. Oh, I was sitting about this. Excuse me. I was about this.
Seniors, I now proudly present you graduates of West Springs High School. Congratulations.
Of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I invite you to stand with me for prayer and in honor of those graduating seniors, these graduating seniors. Gracious and Holy Father, as you look down upon this audience, you know our...
No, we can't.
Let me get close up.
Tom, don't run off.
Huh?
I got it.
Just so well.
We're gonna get it.
Need it.
We gotta let other people in.
Kara? Kara, look at Pawpaw. Wave to Pawpaw.
You know what she did out in the lobby? She got poured my dress up and crawled under it. At least Krista, she's there's your dad. Everybody up there knew I had to slip on. Wait till come on.
Hey, Kyle.
We can just go with you. Yeah, back to back. No, don't run off. We're going to. As soon as they hear you, tell my mom. Who are you? You're kidding. But it better not.
We'd like to once again thank the athletes for the super job that you do in the classroom. A lot of our athletes this year attended the academic competitions for us and did a really good job. We'd like to recognize today Harley Rhines had the opportunity to attend the first Oklahoma Tournament of Champions he placed first in world history at Southwestern and second in American history to qualify to go. And we just found out about an hour ago that he was competing with students who had placed first and second all across the state at all the different academic competitions. And Harley is the state champ in American history.
I guess it's having to really hold us to it all the time.
Way to go, Harley. Way to go. I think we've got a good athletic program, and I think there's several reasons why we do. And I think Marilyn touched on one of them. I think it's our Board of Education, our school administration, our faculty, our fans, and the support from the All Sports Association. I think our support is one of our great advantages. Anytime we go on the road, we have more people than they do. And I can show you what the All Sports is doing, like they're giving 3 scholarships, the community's giving 3 scholarships. So that shows you that our community and our All Sports, they care about young people. And we've got some great workers in the All Sports Association. This here will show what I'm talking about, plus the way they help us during the Black Diamond tournament. So, and the greatest group of people we have in this room are you young people who give your time, your effort to make this program a success. And without you and your parents, we'd have no program. So I salute you tonight. I'm going to start with the football team, and we have some people who really help us. I'd like to mention these folks. Is Brian Hale and Rick Fitzpatrick here? They're our film men, and they go with us on all our trips, and we really appreciate them. Coach Husband, he scouted 13 straight weeks for us, and we also used Kevin McElroy and Jeff Strong and Brad McAdoo to help. And just to show you how the mothers helped us, when we're on the road, we always eat very good because the mothers, they always have sandwiches for us after the ball game, and we really appreciate it. And I'd also like to thank the cheerleaders. They worked very hard and they helped us, and we really had a good working relationship with them. And Mr. Latham, Mr. Kerr, and Mr. Brumley, they helped me out so much that they really take a lot of pressure off of us. Our football team, I thought we had a good football team. We finished 9-2. I was proud of our team. Our seniors have established a pretty good tradition. They won 29 and lost 13 during their 4 years. I'm going to start with, I do everything by numbers. So we're going to start with our first number, Todd Peterman, our senior quarterback. Todd, why don't you stand up? Todd was an all-state 2A by class this year. He's an all-area player, Duncan and Lawton, and all-district player. So Todd had a great career. Our next player is Shannon Long. I don't believe Shannon's here tonight. Darren Brantley. Darren's a junior. He'll be our quarterback next season. Jeff Long. Jeff, one of our good receivers. Jeff had a good year this year. He caught 9 passes for 146 yards, so Jeff will be back. David Miller, sophomore safety, and also split end, will be returning. Destry Horton, who played quarterback, freshman. Michael Brady, senior split end. Michael was all area, Lawton and Duncan, and all district, and one of the top receivers in the state with 17 catches for 349 yards and 7 touchdowns. Sean Goodwin. Sean was a defensive starter at the left corner. He'll be back. Harmon Davis was a part-time starter at the right corner. Harmon will be back. Both of those kids are juniors. Kyle Foster was a freshman tailback. Kyle will be back. Sean Frick was our leading tackler on the team. He's a starting linebacker, wingback. Sean will be back. Todd Blades was a backup fullback, cornerback. Philip Frick, I don't think Philip's here. Philip was a freshman fullback. Tim Beard was our tailback. Tim made the all-area team again this year. Duncan and Lawton, and capped off a good season with over 1,300 yards. And Tim's back. Harley Rhines is our fullback. Harley's been a starter for 3 years. Harley be coming back after having another good year. Pat McKay was all-area tackle. Pat made the all-area team at Lawton and Duncan, and was also Lineman of the Year last season. Quentin Seaberger is one of our centers and defensive guard. Quentin's a sophomore. He'll be back. Mark Coleman, one of our seniors, played defensive end, defensive guard for us. Mark's been around for 3 years and made a good contribution to our team. Blue Douthit was our starting center for 3 years. Also made the all-area team at Duncan and the all-district team. Blue was a valuable member of our squad. Country Beard will be back this year as our center linebacker. Country was the backup center this year, and we're looking for good things out of him. Paul McKay was a 3-year starter at guard and also played defensive guard and was an all-district player. Eric Bailey is a sophomore guard. Eric will be back and should see plenty of action as defensive end in the guard. James Reniger, James is a junior, offensive guard. He backed up Joe Harris. We think James is going to be an outstanding lineman. Jimmy Denham was a freshman center. Jim will be back. Bart Duke is a freshman tackle. Joe Eddings is a freshman guard. Joe Harris started 3 years at offensive guard, played some defensive tackle for us. Jake Warwick, sophomore, plays defensive guard. Jake should be one of our mainstays at defense next season. Chris White, we moved Chris to tight end at the start of the year, and I think we found a home. He should be one of our better tight ends. Brian Long was a senior, played defensive guard for us and offensive tackle. Brian Suttle, sophomore this year, saw a lot of action as a backup tackle and should be a two-way player next season. Jeremy Petticourt started every ball game for us at defensive guard and should be a two-way starter next season. Monty Bass capped off a good career by making the all-area team at Duncan, the all-district team, and Monty started 3 years for us. Michael Heath started 3 years at defensive end, very intelligent player, a very hard hitter. Mike made all-district for us. Jay Hampstead was split end, freshman. Butch Baker's a junior split end. Stephen Sanders, this was Steve's first year, but he came out, played tight end for us, made a good contribution, and we were great. It was great to have Steve out. Mark Bishop, Mark was a 3-year starter on defense, a 2-year starter on offense, and Mark was also All-State by class. First time we've ever had 2 people who made the All-State team 2A. That was our high school football team. We had Doug Cray, and was our Doug had an injury this year and didn't get to play his senior year, but you couldn't tell it. Doug came right out there, pitched in, and was our senior manager, and he had help from Scott Nichols, Larry Golden, and Jason Kleck, and we had 4 of the best managers working with us. Johnny Davison helped those guys out on Friday nights, and I'm proud of these people. I didn't forget anybody, did I? Okay, I hope not. All of you stand up. Stand up one more time. We'll give you a big round of applause. When you stand up.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the baseball team, but first, I'd like to thank some people. That Coach Tunnell, well, he talked about some, but I want to thank these people. First of all, my wife, Lisa. I know it's pretty tough on a coach's wife. Most of the time, I think all these ladies and a couple in the audience could verify for that. But she gives me a lot of support, and through good times and bad times, and I appreciate her. And second, Kay, Marilyn, would y'all come up here, please? This isn't much, but we sure appreciate y'all. I know you do a lot for the athletic program and come to every ball game. And We'll give you a baseball autograph by the Rush Springs Redskins.
Thank you.
Probably be worth some money someday. Okay, we had a 10 and 15 year season. Probably isn't as good as some people might think we should have been, but the way we started off, I think we did all right. We started off with 3-7, and then we came back and won 5 out of 6 games, and then won our district championship, 2nd in a row, and went to regionals and played Latta. They're ranked number 1 in Class 2A, and they're still playing now. And got beat by them 12-1, and they showed us how to play some baseball. They're a good team. They got a chance to win it all. And then we played the Bradoil Donkeys, and they beat us 10-9 in a suspended game. We thought we should have won that one, and I think that if we hadn't got rained out, that we probably would have beat them. I like to think that anyway. Okay. First of all, before I start introducing the teammates, Krista Porter, please stand. She was our bat girl. She ran after them bats pretty good. Christy Cloud was our scorekeeper. I tell you what, I gave her an old scorebook. She took it home, and she didn't ask me any questions. She could keep the book. And, well, anybody can make a 31 on their ACT. I figure they can just keep the score. Okay, now our team. John Duke, sophomore. He played right field for us and was a courtesy runner for us. Hit .211. This is his 2nd year to play. Juniors, Country Beard. Country, this is his 3rd year to play. He is an outfielder and played second base. Hit .222. Broke his wrist trying to dunk a basketball and missed some games. Darren Brantley, it's his 2nd year to play. Darren hit .236. Started every game at third base. Had 1 home run down to Empire. Harmon Davis, this is his 3rd year to play. He was a pitcher, had a 1-3 record, and played shortstop. He hit a .145 and had 2 home runs. Tim Beard, this is his 3rd year to play. He was a center fielder. He had 3 home runs and hit .278. And the seniors, Blue Douthit. This is Blue's 1st year to play. I wished he'd played all along. He turned out to be a pretty good player. He was our starting left fielder, played some right field, and courtesy ran a little bit for us. Hit .200, had a massive home run at Nennecaw over the .220 fence. Todd Peterman. This was Todd's 1st year to play. I wished he'd have played all along too. He started in the outfield, and then when Country broke his wrist, had to come in and play second base and did a fine job. And he hit one out at the Green Monster at Nennecaw. He had a .63. Paul McKay. Paul was a pitcher, played first base, had 3 home runs, hit .250, and had a 5-4 pitching record. And his dad thought I was crazy for pitching him. He said, "What are you doing pitching him?" I said, "He can throw," and he proved it. And then Michael Brady. This is Michael's 4th year. He's a 4-year starter for us. Hit .315, played first base, third base his freshman year, shortstop, and pitched. He was 4-7 this year, and Michael and Pat were named to the Duncan All-Area Baseball team, and we're really proud of that. You know, you rely so much on winning and losing, but, you know, you talk to coaches, and like we went over to a weightlifting meet at Elgin, and there's this one team there, and they had to tell them to sit down and stay out of the way so people could see. And all our guys were over, you know, all together, you know, and you never had to say anything to them. And, you know, the coach from Elgin commented on how well we acted. And then we go to Latta and play, and we're sitting around. I'm talking to the Latta coach, and he said, "Boy, you got some good kids." He said, "They really act mature." He said, I really enjoyed talking with them, because it was in between games and they came down there and they were talking to the coach. Well, 10 and 15 record, that I like to win as good as anybody, but when somebody makes a comment like that really means a lot to me. And you can make your own opinion about it, but I think we have an outstanding group of athletes. Thank you.
I'd like to echo what Coach Foster said, because that's really the truth. We do have an outstanding group of young men, and
pardon me. I skipped Patrick McKay. I had him written down here. It's the first time I've ever written notes, and I'm never going to do it again. Pat McKay hit .385 for us, had 5 home runs. He's a 3-year letterman, and had 2 grand slams. I can't believe I forgot you, Pat. Sorry about that.
Now, where was it? Oh, yeah. Also, I'd like to echo, too, what Coach Tunnell said about having such an outstanding board, and the administration of people we work with is really outstanding. And all the parents and the people that come to the basketball games, football games, baseball games and support us, it's just great to have all the support that we have. I'd like to introduce you to the basketball team. First of all, we were 14-11 this year, and I'd like to think that was kind of misleading, because I think 11 points was maybe the worst we got beat by. We were really competitive, I think, every game, except I didn't feel really good about the Washington game in the first round of regionals, but other than that, I thought we were in every ball game in a break or two either way, and the record could have gone the other way. But then again, like Barry said, if there's some things that are more important than doing that, and this was an outstanding group of young men. They busted their tail every day in practice and got along and really worked hard, and it was just problem-free almost. And you had to feel for them all year, because you could see frustration in their eyes, because they really had high hopes when the year started. And then things just never seemed like the break could be caught. But they are a good group of kids, and they did work hard, and the success that they got, they really earned. I'll start with the young guys, the freshman, Destry Horton. Destry's a freshman guard that we really have high hopes for. He'll be a sophomore next year, and I think he'll be able to help us. Kyle Foster. Kyle's also be a sophomore next year, and he is in the same boat Destry's in. We have high hopes for both them young men. Matthew Jarvis. I don't know if Matthew's here, but he started suiting up at the end of the year, and he's about 6'2", and I think he's going to be able to help us too. We had 2 sophomores, John Duke. John is also a guard, you can tell, and I think he'll be able to help us some next year too. Chris White. Chris became a starter after Christmas, and he really finished the year on a really strong note. I think the last 10 ball games he averaged about 16 or 17 points a game, finishing it off with a 28-point effort against Velma. And I know most everybody was down there, and they had 2 big guys, 6'6" and 6'4", and he really went to work on them. So we think he's going to be one of the hopefully one of the premier post guys in our class next year. The 4 juniors, Clint Shirley. Clint became a starter towards the end of the year, I think the last 7 or 8 ball games, and again, he was in double figures too, and really had an outstanding final game against Velma with 18 points. I think Clint's probably one of the best 3-point shooters in the state. He can really stroke the ball from outside, and he'll be really a major factor next year. Another junior, Steve Smith. Steve has worked very hard with Coach Tunnell in 4th-hour weights. He's really gotten a lot stronger, and we think he's really going to be able to get up on the backboard some next year and help us out. Jeff Long. Jeff will be a senior next year, and he worked hard, practiced, and has improved greatly. We hope he can contribute a lot next year. Richie Large. Richie was starting guard for us this year, and he made the 2nd team Duncan Banner all-area team and was also all-conference player. And he'll move to the point guard next year, and we really think that he can do a super job from there. He's going to be replacing a heck of a player, but we think that he's capable of doing the job. He's also was invited to an all-star camp up in Kentucky this summer that he's going to attend, and so we hope that'll make him a better player. Our seniors, Alexander Straw. Alex came out a couple weeks after he'd been here, and he really contributed a lot. I remember every day after practice, guys, taller guys, y'all get together and they want to all try to dunk. And every day, Brad White comes to pick up Chris, and he'd be in there, and they'd all be trying to dunk. We didn't have anybody that could do it hardly at the first of the year. I remember the first day when Alex dunked. I don't know who got more excited, Alex or Brad or me. I don't know one, but it was pretty exciting at that time. Gary Flippo here was our starting center, and he contributed a great deal this year, about 6 points, about 6 rebounds a game. Stephen Sanders. These next 4 guys were all 7th graders when I came here, and we've kind of grown up together, and I feel really close to all of them because they've really had a lot of success and been a great deal of any success that I've had. Stephen began the year as a starter and lost that spot, and he moved to a bench player, but he never said a word, and he never quit working, and I have the utmost respect for him. James Foster. James is another young man who's took advantage of his first opportunity to play this year, and he made the most of it. Another guy that I have a lot of respect for. Todd Peterman. Todd was a 3-year starter who I think, if I'm not mistaken, had about almost 500 assists in 3 years, which is really, I think, pretty good. Probably, if I'm not mistaken, about 7 or 8 a game over a 3-year career. Was really a coach on the floor and did everything I asked him, played defense and scored, and really going to miss Todd a lot next year. You just kind of take him for granted because he's been here for 3 years and was always there for me. Michael Brady. Michael was our 6th man last year and a starter this year, and he averaged about 16 points a game. And I think he's going to try to continue playing, and he's going to walk on to El Reno Junior College, and I think he'll really make him a good player. I forgot to tell you, Todd he was also an all-conference player. He was honorable mention on the Duncan Banner team this year, and he and Michael both will play in an all-star game at Chickasha next Saturday night. And then Michael was also a Lawton All-Area player, which I think makes it 5th year in a row we've had one of those. And he was also first-team Duncan Banner, which is, I think, 5th year in a row for that, too. He was our Grady County Conference Player of the Year, which we won for the 2nd time in a row, as well as the county tournament. And he also is going to play in the Lawton All-Area All-Star Game, which is a week after, I think, the 27th. He's going to play in that. 2 other guys that I need to introduce. Again, Doug Cray, who was introduced before. He was our manager this year. And then another guy named Larry Riddle. Larry was also our manager, and those 2 guys are kind of right-hand man. And also I'd like to recognize Coach McAdoo, who's my assistant this year, and he's also the junior high coach. And he was really a big help to have him this year. And but that was our young men that played basketball this year.
Just a little bit about our season this past year. We were 14-9. That's not real impressive. That's not a 23-4 or 26-6, but really it's a whole lot. To us, it's a good year. I mean, I was really proud of that record. I felt like we got the most out of our kids, and I'm real proud of our season, even though it was just 14-9. There's a lot of teams would love to have just a winning record, and we're real tickled with that. We were consolation champs in our own Black Diamond tournament, which incidentally has turned out to be one of the most prestigious basketball tournaments in the state, as you well know. We were 3rd in our county tournament. We were 2nd in the Grady County Conference, and we were 3rd in the state in scoring defense, which we really take a lot of pride in with our defensive unit. But a more important statistic, our team grade point average was a 3.31, which is just outstanding. We're really proud of our student athletes. Since the no pass, no play rule has been instituted in the state, our kids take a lot of pride in it. They don't like to see the bleachers on Monday or the track for our football or our other athletes. I'd like to introduce now each one of our team members. We have only one senior, and if you girls would just stand as I introduce you. Tammy Rust was our only senior member of the team. She's been a 2-year starter. She was named to the all-conference team. She was in a tie vote with her and a girl from Ampo for the Defensive Player of the Year, and the girl won out in a runoff, but that was a real honor. She was named to the Duncan All-Area team and to the Lawton Constitution All-Area team. And in girls basketball in Oklahoma in All-State, to make All-State in girls basketball, we have tryouts where you go and you try out with other senior athletes around the state. They have 2 different tryouts, and if you're invited back to the second tryout, well, then you're in the running, and you know you got a real good opportunity to make All-State. Tammy was asked back to that second tryout up at Weatherford. She didn't make All-State, but it's a real honor just to get that far, and we was proud of Tammy for that. She's got to play in the drug-free All-Star game. It was the first time this game has been held. It was over in Lawton 2 or 3 weeks ago. Next Saturday, she'll be playing in the Grady County All-Star game at Chickasha, which we always have a good turnout of Rush Springs people to come and support our players and play in that. And then the following Saturday, she'll be playing in the Lawton Constitution All-Area game over at Lawton. So Tammy's just had an outstanding career here at Rush Springs. Our juniors, we have 5 juniors. Christy Cloud, she's a second-year starter for Christy. She was named honorable mention Duncan All-Area. Christy on the year averaged 17.4 points a game, but more probably after Christy got hurt, game number 15, Christy really picked up the slack and averaged 24 points over those last 8 games. And incidentally, Christy was one of our 3 athletes on our team that was a 4-point student. Krista Porter. Krista had a 21.2 average before she got hurt. She got to play in 15 games. She was named to the honorable mention All-Area team in Duncan. She had knee surgery. They scoped her knee after game 15, and she's come back, and she's just about 100% right now. Kim Busby. I don't believe Kim is here this evening. Kim moved back from Woodward. She left here as a freshman, lived in Woodward for a year, and came back. And boy, Kim really gave us a lot of help on the guard end. We're really happy to have Kim back. Kim Hudson. Kim is back in our program now, and we're really tickled to have her back. Kim is really going to provide a lot of help on the guard end next year. Shannon Smith. Shannon's also a junior. She provided help on both ends, at forward and guard. Our sophomores. We have 4 sophomores. Stephanie Charlson. Stephanie's probably one of the most dedicated kids I've ever worked with. She's a tremendously hard worker and has made a great deal of improvement this spring. Angie McConnell, the spark plug, as we call her. Angie's a 4-point student, very aggressive, tough little guard, is going to provide us with a lot of help. Dina Nichols. Dina was a starting guard. She, like Angie, was a 4-point student. She's a great jumper, and potentially Dina could be one of the best guards that we've ever had here. Tina Thurber. Tina moved in from Fletcher. This was the first year in the program, and has been a great addition to our program. She has a lot of enthusiasm and is a really hard worker. These next 7 girls are all freshmen, and honestly, I don't know what we would have done without them this year because we were so thin in numbers. But we had 7 kids, 7 freshmen that worked with us. Christy Smith. Christy started all year. She averaged 9.3 points a game. She played on both ends of the floor. Christy's going to make a really good player. Kim Martin. Kim Martin, I forget how many games Kim started in, but she played on both ends of the floor. I remember up at Chickasha in the consolation, I guess it's 3rd place game, Kim came in and got about 19 points and was real instrumental in us beating Minko in the county tournament. Carrie Porter. Carrie has made great improvement this spring. She has a lot of heart and desire, and she's going to help us. Leanne Heston. Leanne's a guard. She's a real smart player, quick. She's kind of like having a coach on the floor. She's got a real good understanding of the game. Connie Blankenship. Connie can play on both ends. Connie's blessed with a lot of ability. Terry Smith. Terry has a lot of talent. She's really quick, and she's going to make us an outstanding player before she's through. Rochelle Waddell. They call her the Tree. The Tree is going to be one of the best players that we will ever have here. She's going to make a good one. I'd like to particularly thank, one more note about these freshmen. They played on a junior high team they were 18-2, and probably wouldn't have lost those 2 games if we hadn't had to use those freshmen up on our high school team in tournament situations, and consequently we couldn't use them in our junior high tournaments. I'd like to particularly thank Coach Tunnell, who helps me at the high school, Coach Husband, who helps me with the junior high, and Coach Beard, who works with our 6th and 7th graders. They do a really good job and a tremendous contribution to our program. Thank you.
Okay, the track team is next. The high school boys track team this year entered 9 track meets. Okay, they finished first at Cache and at the Stevens County track meet at Marlow. They finished second at Pauls Valley and Kanawha. Finished third at Oklahoma City, Bishop McGinnis and Waurika. And in 6th at the Invitational track meet at Marlow. At the regional track meet, we finished 4th, qualified 7 for the state track meet. And at the state track meet, we finished with 24 points, which was good for 9th place finish regardless of what the paper said. Now, all the papers have had us down for 14 points and 14th place, but we actually finished in 9th place. Of all the track meets that we entered, I think most of the guys will agree with me that the most satisfying and rewarding of all the track meets was not the first place finishes at Marlow or Cache, but the 2nd place we won at Pauls Valley because of the level of competition and the fact that the only team that beat us was the eventual state runner-up in Class 3A Pauls Valley. Okay, it was quite an accomplishment for us to go to Pauls Valley and finish 2nd, and we're talking about running against teams like Pauls Valley. Tuttle was there. Several big schools from Oklahoma City were there. So we felt like when we come away from Pauls Valley that we had actually accomplished something. The low part of the year was not qualifying everybody for the state track meet, which we felt deserved to go. And we could get deeper into this, but I don't want to embarrass anybody here. If you want to know the details, you can ask some of the guys on the team. And the most frustrating part of the year was sitting in the Winniewood parking lot for 2 hours after everybody else was already home eating, looking for a stinking set of bus keys, which nobody knows for sure who took them, but we're going to thank our neighbors to the south. And Toby, I'm not talking about Marlow, I'm talking about farther south. Okay, we won't name any names. We did all of this damage, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 6th, and 9th with only 12 people. Okay, there were 12 members of this year's track team. 8 of the 12 are seniors. We're going to miss them. They're going to be hard, if not impossible, to replace, but we'll give it our best shot next year. Members of the track team: Butch Baker, Tim Beard, Joe Dorman, Alex Straw, James Foster, Brett May. Brett won 2nd in the 800-meter run at state. He was a member of the 1,600-meter relay team that finished 4th at the state track meet. Brett was the regional champion in the 800-meter run at Wynnewood. Brett also qualified for the state track meet in 400-meter dash. So needless to say, Brett had a busy 2 days. And Brett has been offered a track scholarship to OCC. He's not for sure if he's going to accept it or not, but it has been offered to him. Pat McKay. Pat won 5th in the shot put at state and qualified for the state in the discus. Paul McKay. Paul was the regional champion in the shot put, qualified for state in the shot put. David Miller. David was on the 1600-meter relay team that finished 4th. Todd Peterman. Todd won 3rd at the in the pole vault at the state track meet. Harley Rhines. Harley qualified for the state track meet in the 200-meter dash and was also a member of the 1600-meter relay team. And Stephen Sanders. Stephen was the final member of the 1600-meter relay team. Okay, and finally to the 8 seniors, I'd just like to thank you for making the last 3 years so enjoyable and wish you the best of luck in everything you do. Thank you.
Yeah, but she wants me over here. Oh, right. He said I could be over there.
I had a list of all the athletes, and some of you have seen the looks of my house, and it's pretty bad, and you can understand why I lost the list in it. But we have these to give tonight. And I want to see these at all the football games. Give them to your mother and dad or your sister or your brother or something. And I want them waved at the football games for touchdowns. I want them waved at the baseball games for home runs, the basketball games, and I for sure want them waved at the track meets. So since I don't know, I want all the freshmen to come up and get theirs. Just come on up. Right. Okay, this is Destry Horton, Bart Duke, Jimmy Denham, Kim Martin, Kyle Foster, Carrie Porter, Christy Smith, Michelle Waddell, Terry Smith, Leanne Heston, Connie Blankenship. Okay, now all the sophomores come up. Big Jake the Snake Wyrick. Tyler Peterman right there. Stephanie Charleston. Dana Nichols. Angie McConnell. Tina Thurber. Eric Bailey. John Duke.
No, I can't give you that.
Brian Saddle, David Miller, Chris White, and Quentin Seaberger. Okay, all the juniors come up. Richie Large, Jeremy Petticourt, Tim Beard, Christy Cloud, Kim Hudson, Butch Baker, Stephen Smith, Harmon Davis, Harley Rhines, Seabeard, Sean Goodwin, Krista Porter, Jeff Long, Jason Klett, Clint Shirley, Todd Blade, Sean Frick, Larry Golden,
Brantley?
I'll start to say Brian. Darren Brantley, Shannon Smith, James Reniger.
That's who it is.
Yes. Okay, Mr. McAdoo and Mrs. Brady will present the seniors with their awards.
Let me read what he's getting this for. Blue is getting his award for 4 years football, 3 years track, 1 year baseball. All district football senior and all area football Duncan Banner. Joe Harris, 4 years football, 2 years track, 4 years weightlifting, all district football and all area honorable mention Duncan Banner. James Foster, 4 years basketball, 4 years track, state, 6th place, 2-mile relay. Michael Heath, 4 years football, 3 years track, 2 years basketball, 2 years weightlifting, all district football, and all area honorable mention Duncan Banner. Alexander Strahl. 1 year basketball, 1 year track, 1 year weightlifting. Stephen Sanders, 4 years basketball, 4 years track, 1 year football, 1 year weightlifting, a state qualifier in track mile relay, sophomore and junior year. Michael Brady, 4 years football, 3 years basketball, 4 years baseball, all district football, all area football, Lawton Press, all area basketball Duncan Banner, all area basketball Lawton Press, honorable mention Tulsa World All-State, Oklahoma Coaches Association, all district 5 basketball, is that right? And Oklahoma Coaches Association, honorable mention All-State, and all area baseball, Duncan Banner. Doug Cray, 4 years football, 3 years weightlifting, 1 year basketball manager. Brett May, 4 years track, 2 years basketball, a 1987 state qualifier in track, 800-meter run, 5th, and 3,200-meter relay, 5th. 1988 state qualifier track, 800 run, the 3,200 relay, 6th place, and 1,600 relay. Patrick McKay, 4 years football, 4 years track, 3 years baseball, 3 years weightlifting, all district football, all area football Duncan Banner and Lawton Press, lineman of the year for the Lawton Press, honorable mention all-state football, state qualifier in the shot put as a sophomore and junior, and state qualifier discus as a junior. Joe Dorman, 4 years track, 2 years basketball. Todd Peterman, 4 years football, 4 years basketball, 4 years track, 1 year baseball, all area football Duncan Banner and Lawton Press, all district football, all-star West football team, all area basketball, second team, 4th place state track and pole vault as a freshman, state champion pole vault as a sophomore, and a state qualifier in the pole vault as a junior. Mark Coleman, 3 years football and 4 years weightlifting. Been there a long time, Mark. 3 years football, all district football, all area football, Duncan Banner as a sophomore, junior, and senior. All-Star West football team as a senior, honorable mention All-State as a senior in football, and football captain as his senior year. Monty Bays, 4 years football, 4 years weightlifting, all district football as a senior, and all area football Duncan Banner as a senior. Paul McKay, 4 years football, 4 years track, 3 years baseball, 2 years weightlifting, 5th place in the state track discus as a sophomore, regional champion shot put as a junior, state qualifier in the discus as a junior, 6th place state track and shot put as a junior, and all district football as a senior. Gary Filippo, 2 years basketball and basketball captain for senior year. And our one senior girl, Tammy Rust, 4 years basketball, basketball queen 89, all area basketball Duncan Banner and Lawton Press as a senior, large West all area and all-star Lawton 5-on-5 in the Promote Drug-Free Oklahoma.
We give 4 awards. First one is Offensive Lineman of the Year. These are voted on by the coaches and the way they graded. Our Offensive Lineman of the Year for 88 is Pat McKay. Our Offensive Player of the Year for 1988, Todd Peterman. Our Defensive Player of the Year, and he not only played one position, he could play 2 positions, and very valuable football player for us for 3 years, Mark Bishop. Our MVP, this is someone who plays both ways, and someone who makes a great contribution, and most people said, well, he's too small to play where he plays, and he's not big enough, and he's not fast enough, but he's the guy that made all the big plays on defense if he wanted a sack, and he's the guy who threw the key block on the touchdown run. It was our center, Blue Douthit.
MVP of baseball, the forgotten man, Pat McKay.